Hey, what is going on guys? Welcome back to the channel for another keyboard review. This time we will be testing out Epomaker's Luma84, our second low profile keyboard from Epomaker that I have been using for productivity and also for my travel needs, and I gotta say, low profile keyboards are super convenient, and stay tuned to know how this low profile keyboard from Epomaker holds up. For complete transparency, Epomaker sent out this keyboard for me to test out and do a sound test for you guys, but they did not pay me to do so, nor they have any influence in the creation of this review. Every single word I say will always be my personal take. Right off the bat, I want to say that I prefer this very much over the Carbon 60 just because it has all the functions and features I need for a productivity keyboard, like the function row, which I use most frequently on my editing apps, as well as the arrow keys. Both of which are not present on the Carbon 60 given the small compact layout, but that is the price you pay for these smaller and more compact keyboards. But if you like the carbon fiber design of the Carbon 60 and you don't necessarily use the function row or the arrow keys, then the Carbon 60 is a good choice. I also did a review about that keyboard if you're interested. Anyways, this has an 80% compact standard ANSI layout with a total of 84 keys. Once again, pretty much everything that you will need for a productivity keyboard is in this layout. This keyboard came in white colorway with purple accent like the escape key and the enter key. You do have extra white keycaps if you don't want these purple accents. This is priced at $109 US. You also have a black color option in the Epomaker's official website, and the link for this keyboard will be in the description section below. This is an all aluminum based keyboard that makes the build quality a lot stronger. This also underwent the anodization process, giving it that satin aluminum finish and that raw aluminum silvery color, which I think is pretty cool. For the side profile, you can see here that we have uniform thickness from the top to the bottom side with sharp blocky edges, and the bottom base has this smooth and curvy design. The bottom of the keycaps are also above the edges, and the switches can be seen by just a little, giving this keyboard floating keycap style. And does the smooth and curvy design on the bottom reminds you of the design language of Apple's MacBooks? I don't know, share your thoughts in the comments down below. Looking at the edges, the top is thicker than the rest of the edges, and on the top right hand side is an LED strip that you can customize using the function button and the insert key. Or you can customize this using VIA because this is VIA compatible, and the JSON file is available in Epomaker's official website. Flipping this keyboard over, we have no flip stand to adjust the typing angle as with any other aluminum keyboards we've tried and tested, but with the low profile, the typing angle will always be comfortable. We have these 4 silicone feet to prevent the keyboard from sliding around when in use. On the middle are Epomaker logo, brand name, and some product information. You can also see here the power switch and the USB-C port for charging and wired mode. This is also equipped with a 3000 mAh battery that lasted me the whole 3 days on a single full charge with the RGB lighting, including the light strip on maximum brightness. Talking about the RGB lighting, it is very bright and uniformly spread out on the plate thanks to the south-facing RGB LEDs on the PCB. And since this is a low-profile keyboard, there's not much space between the bottom of the keycaps and the LEDs, making the underglow a lot brighter. It has 5 levels of brightness, lots of effects and colors which you can access using key combinations. There are sub-legends on the keycaps for the RGB control, so you wouldn't miss it. Once again, this is VIA compatible, and there you have more flexible control over the RGB underglow. This also has tri-mode connectivity connectivity that includes Bluetooth 5.0, which can connect up to 3 devices. There's also 2.4 GHz wireless connection and wired mode, both of which can support 1000 Hz of polling rate. So yeah, you can definitely game with this. If gaming on low profile keyboards is your cup of tea, go for it. The keycaps mounted are DSA low profile double shot PVD keycaps, and the sub legends are die sub. The legends are black with a nice and crispy character size. They have a nice texture that feels grippy, and it helps with long typing sessions. The switches equipped in this variant are the Gateron 3-pin low-profile red linears, but you can also opt for the Gateron brown tactiles if you want to. These switches have a polycarbonate top housing, palm stem, and a PA66 bottom housing. They have a 45 grams of operating force that bottoms out at 60 grams, pre-travel of 1.5mm, and a total travel of 2.5mm. They are mounted on hot swappable 3-pin sockets, so you can definitely try out different aftermarket low-profile switches here. Before I share how this low-profile keyboard sounds, let's see the internals first. You can find the 10 small hex screws on the back to open this keyboard up. For the top frame, no blemishes can be seen. They did a nice cutting process with this. It also has a uniform paint job. The inside is painted just how it is on the outside. Here's the polycarbonate plate. I don't have my digital caliper with me, but this is thinner than the ones we find at high profile keyboards. It doesn't have any flex cuts, but because of its thin nature, it bends nicely that I'm sure will introduce a nice amount of cushioning. Here are your plate mounted stabilizers. We also have a lot of dampeners, including this really thin Poron sandwich foam, IXP switch pad, and PET film. Here's the PCB. Again, I'm not sure with the thickness of this. This is gasket mounted using these silicone sleeves. No alternative layouts available. Seeing the backside of this keyboard, I noticed that the connectors were glued. This is actually the first time I'm seeing this. It is completely fine by me since these connectors tend to break. I've broken many of these before, so yeah, it's fine by me. Here you can see the bottom base, just like the top frame, really good looking. Here we have the 3000 mAh battery and the daughter board. We also have foams here like this generic thin foam and this Poron base foam. This keyboard has been a really good productivity keyboard for me, as it has all the features that I want on a keyboard, but to be quite honest with you guys, I wasn't really happy with how it sounded. It sounded decent for a low profile keyboard. It's just that the switches has stem wobble and bottoming out felt a little mushy, but once again, the focus of this keyboard is functionality, durability, and portability. And this keyboard does a great job at those three. And you can always change these switches since this keyboard has hot swappable low profile sockets. The typing experience, especially the typing feel, is very comfortable. Usually when I clock out at work, I switch keyboards, but I found myself gaming on this low profile goodness. It has a really nice amount of bounce that makes typing really comfortable. If you're trying to find a low profile keyboard for $100, this is definitely a taker.